What's good, guys? Back again, and finally we have a tank build. First and foremost, take it with a pinch of salt. I am obviously stacking this on top of my original DPS class. I have changed quite a bit, obviously, for tanking. I don't have everything fully spec'd for tanking, so just bear that in mind. Just while we go into this, I'll probably split it into two videos because it will be quite a while. So let's jump in. So first things first is ability scores. I've changed them. As you can see, I've gone for Constitution and Strength. Strength for stamina regeneration and physical damage boost, and Constitution for maximum hit points and AP gain over Dexterity, because we don't really need crit severity or movement speed. So that's where I've changed those. I've gone for the top two. In terms of artifacts and gear, again, this is still based on my DPS class. So, you know, the artifacts are DPS heavy. My artifact set is DPS heavy. You can swap this out. A lavender set is good. I've changed some of the equipment I've got from Master Expeditions. You know, I've got some of the critical avoidance and accuracy. The main stats we're trying to get is defense, accuracy, deflect, and awareness. Trying to get them over obviously 68,000. I haven't got them over 68,000 just because, like I say, this is my DPS build. So, you know, I've taken quite a bit of the DPS off, but again, it's not, the stats aren't where they need to be. If you are a tank already, you should have those stats and you'll be good to go pretty much with this build. So let's move on from there. Powers, this is the main part. This is what you want to see, really, isn't it? So for my at-wills, I've gone Tide of Iron. Deal physical damage to a target, magnitude 80. It's mainly for the added effect, you generate more threat. I noticed the thing with this class, fighter class being a tank, is we don't have enough threat. Nobody wants to fight us. Everybody looks at us and goes, nah, forget that. Oh look, there's a guardian fight, there's a fighter over there. Nah, forget that. Oh look, there's a hunter, let's go attack him. You know, we don't generate enough threat to do our job. So it's mainly going to be survivability and get that threat. So yeah, this is your main one. Your actions generate more threat. Secondary, it's going to be cleave. No, not cleave. Is this one, sorry. It's going to be Brazen Slash, added effect, stamina regeneration, restoration. You know, it deals a threefold attack as well, so it's a bit of an AoE. It's mainly for that stamina regen. Get it back up so we can put our shield up. In terms of rotation for encounters, this is for trash mobs, you know, AoE, you're leading up to the boss. So we're going to go Bull Charge, we're going to go Enforce Threat, and depending on the situation, depending where you are, you know, if you're in end game content, we want to be running Iron Warrior. You know, decrease that damage taken by 20%, because they hit hard, man. They hit hard. Some of the end game content, and as a tank, everyone's going to be looking at you to take those hits and shrug it off. So definitely, this is end game. Obviously, if you know you're not going to die as easy, you can swap out Iron Warrior for someone like Shield Throw, or my favourite Shield Slam, you know, just to get that little added bit of DPS in there, because, you know, we all love DPS. But yeah, these two definitely. Bull Charge gets you in that fight straight away. Knockback, deal an additional physical damage whenever an attack strikes multiple enemies, which is always good because you're rushing straight into them. Enforce Threat, because we want that threat. Reduces the awareness of targets by 10,000, which is great for your team as well, and increases threat generated by at-wills, which again stacks onto Tide of Iron. So yeah, definitely get that threat. And like I say, Iron Warrior, if we are end game and we know they're going to hit hard. If not, stick on Shield Slam, get that AoE, get some damage in. For dailies, we're going to go Second Wind. Again, this is geared towards more end content and harder content. This is, you're in a tight spot, your healer hasn't noticed you, you know, you're looking like, ooh, I've taken a bit too much on here. Pop your Second Wind, increase your maximum hit points by 20%, restore amount increased, and recover a portion of damage dealt by most attacks as hit points. You know, it's a great get out of jail free card. You know, you're feeling like, oh, I'm gonna die in like a couple more hits, I'm getting swarmed by a bunch of enemies. You pop this, boom, you're straight back in the fight. Bladed Rampart, sorry, this is your secondary one. Decreases damage taken by 30%, negates the effect of combat advantage against you, that's a big one, and deal physical damage to attackers whenever you take damage. The reason why I say it's a big one is because 9 times out of 10, if you're not in a boss fight, you're going to generate so much threat that you're just swarmed, and that combat advantage is going to go through the roof, and your health bar's just going to gone. So we want to negate that, definitely. So if you're feeling like you're swamped and you're swarmed, you're not going to fully die, and you don't want to pop second wind, and you want to deal some damage back to them as well. You know, your party's right behind you, or you know the situation that you'll be in. You pop this, decreases it by 30%. Again, obviously you've done that, so now it's a 50% reduction in damage, negates all that combat advantage against you, and you're dealing physical damage to attackers whenever you take damage, which is great. You know, as you know, the mechanics, you block is your shift, and tab is your dig in. So dig in, if you don't know, if you haven't read it, you can read it there. But basically, you put your shield up, absorbs 75% of damage from all directions of your total maximum hit points. Damage taken while blocking depletes your stamina, but unless we're getting hit really hard, our stamina doesn't really deplete that much. I'll show it in part 2. We'll go into a dungeon or a little run, and I'll just stick my shield up, see what happens. Obviously you can't move while under the effect. Added effects, you take no additional damage from combat advantage. Great. That's when your shield's up, and you are immune to most control effects. Great. This is a nice little one, retaliate. So when you've popped your dig in, you stuck that shield up, you're taking that damage. Whenever you release it, immediately after blocking an attack, you'll trigger retaliate, dealing damage to enemies in a cone before you. It's actually quite a bit of damage, considering we're tanks. Damage decreases as remaining stamina decreases, magnitude 600. It's quite a lot, and it increases your threat. Great. Maybe triggered once every 10 seconds. Stick your shield up, you get hit, release your shield, you deal that 600 magnitude damage, or however much damage you're going to do. Put your shield back up, wait for those 10 seconds. You can try it. You work it in situations where you can still deal some damage. Class features: increase stamina regeneration and steal recovery. Whenever you use an encounter or daily power, restore 5% of your stamina. You're kind of seeing the gist here that it's all about stamina regen, because we want to be able to put our shield up as much as we can, as often as we can, and have it pretty much as close to 100%, because the higher our stamina is when we put our shield up and drop it, the more damage we're going to deal back as well. So that's a nice little touch. Feats, this was a tricky one. It took me a few times to get the feats that I wanted. So here we've gone staying power. Enforced threat now grants the added effect of increasing threat generated by at wheels for 6 seconds. So that's going to increase more threat. You're going to get more threat as then. Increase your at wheels again. So you're looking like, as soon as you hit them once, you've got tons of threat. They kind of notice you and go, oh look, there's a tank, we'll go and attack him. Cleaving Bull charge no longer knocks back targets and now grants the effect of Cleaving Bull, causing you to deal additional physical damage whenever an attack strikes multiple enemies. The reason why I've chose this over Rising Tide is pretty much the same, is that one, Bull charge no longer knocks them back, which is fine because we want to be in that fight, and it just knocks them back. They're just going to get back up and come straight for you anyway. And it works well with Brazen Slash. So you've popped your Bull Charge, your Enforced Threat, and your Iron Warrior. Duration is 6 seconds. Or you could even pop your Bull Charge, you whack them with a couple times Brazen Slash, get that stamina regeneration, restoration back up. You're going to deal an additional damage, start your dailies, rinse and repeat. Combat balance: whenever you are not blocking, decrease damage taken by up to 10% if your critical avoidance rating, deflect rating, and awareness rating are equal. This effect obviously decreases the bigger the gap. You should be somewhere evenly spaced out between them. Even if you're not, you're still going to get a percentage of damage reduced, which again, that's what we want as a tank. Sharpened senses: bladed rampart now negates the effect of combat advantage against you, so that's in there as well, which that's my phone going off. So that's always a great one as well, because combat advantage is a real kicker. It really does hurt quite a bit when you start getting it. And shake it off for the final one: increase the magnitude of retaliate by up to 300 based on your remaining stamina. Again, that's that retaliate. Your stamina is going to be as high as we can, so that's an extra 300. That's 900 magnitude damage. Yeah, it's pretty beastly. So they're the feats, at wheels and all stuff like that. I'll go over companions. Again, I don't really have companions based for tanks. I've switched some. This is a great one, 24,000 maximum hit points, but I don't really have much. I would say run counteract just to get that deflection rate up, or the defense one. It's up to you. I would swap these empowered out again for defense runes, or balance them out where you need to. I don't have any for myself. Again, the only one I have is 5,000 power dominant force. So that would be the one that I'd be running. If you have defense, you can use defense. It's entirely up to you. Boons are pretty self-explanatory. You're going to take power because we need power, and you're going to take all the defensive boons. I've taken increased stamina regen by 1% and recovery speed by 1%. I've taken chance on kill to do the following for 10 seconds: increase defense by 50 per rank, increase critical avoidance, and eventually I'll take the third one. And then the final points as and when I get them is going to be maximum hit points. So that's the boons. Pretty self-explanatory. You're going to take the power, defensive ones. I put companion influence in as well. Guild, again, defense, power. But yeah, that's the main one that you're looking at. Obviously this will transfer over to your tank, and you'll be able to work your own tank from there. Play about with it, have a look, build it, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think could be different. I've done it maybe 2-3 times now, and I've done different runs and different dungeons, and this seems to be the best tank for my playstyle. I'm rushing it, I'm taking all the hits, I'm tanking, I'm dealing that little bit of damage back, so I'm not just there to be a brick wall. And I'm helping my team out. That's the main point of being a tank. Now, I know my stats aren't where they need to be. Like I said, take it with a pinch of salt. You'll obviously be closer to where you need to be than I will to be a tank anyway. But yeah, that's really it. And again, like I say, if you know you're not gonna need that extra 20% reduction in damage, swap it out for Shield Slam, or Anvil of Doom is a great one. Just whack them on the head, but done. They're dusted. End of. You don't need to start doing any of these Knight's Valor or Linebreaker Knights. You don't need all of that if you know that you're not going to be getting hit as hard. So yeah, that's part 1 of the tank build. Part 2 will be just going through a couple of dungeons, some of the rotations and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely look out for that. That'll be coming pretty shortly. I'm going to do a couple more runs just to make sure. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, thank you. Subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about it. Build it, let me know how well it plays for you with your playstyle, with your builds. Yeah, just let me know. Peace.